Hey, how's it going? My name is December, and today I'm going to show you how to create your own soul samples inside of FL Studio. Alright, let's go. So I got FL Studio pulled up. I've already created the sample. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you, and then I'm going to break it down. Alright, so that is the sample we're working with. Go ahead and break it down here. Now, when you're making soul samples, it's a good idea to use instruments that sound organic and real, so don't use harsh synths or harsh bell sounds or anything that would normally be in like a modern trap song. Soul samples, you want to keep it mostly real instruments. So the first sound I got was from Omnisphere. It's this dark stereo upright from the key section. I'm not going to go over the chord progression too much, but I mostly have 7th chords in here. We are working in D minor. Now that sample that you heard, the preview, I had actually rendered that out and pitched it down 1 semitone, so that was in C minor, or C sharp minor. But this original sample that I started with is in D minor. So I'm going to go ahead and play you the progression here. And like I said, I'm not going to go over how to build chord progressions too much in this tutorial. Maybe that'll be for another tutorial. But I do have a 1, 7, 6, 7, 5, 6 progression. So again, I'm not going to go over the music theory. And honestly, when you're making melodies and samples, you don't have to know music theory. You don't have to be a music theory genius at all, by any means. You just have to know what you're doing inside of your DAW. And I started with, for the effects on that, I have a RC20, giving it some vinyl crackle, kind of detuning it a little bit, and then I have some EQ. For the next sound here, I have a pad, and the pad alone just sounds like this. The pad sound loosely follows the piano notes. So together they sound like this. On that pad, I just have a vintage verb, giving it some reverb, and I have an EQ, taking out some of the lows. So for the next 3 sounds, these are all just accents. So really those piano notes and the pad are the main elements of my sample. Then I just added in some accents. I have a little cymbal, I have a saxophone, and I have a guitar. So I'll go ahead and play those in context. For the accents, I basically have delay. I have an EQ and another EQ. The accents I don't do too much with. Then I have this vocal. I believe this is a vocal sample I got from Splice, and I will go ahead and play the vocal in context for you. So for that vocal, I just have an EQ, a shelf EQ. I cut out almost everything below 500 hertz, and then I cut out a little bit in the 10,000 range. So just a basic shelf EQ. Like I said, if you have good sounds and you're making good sound selection choices, you really don't need that many effects. If it sounds good, it sounds good. You know, right? Fuck it. So next I went to Aviator. Pull it up here. I don't know if anyone uses this, but I think it's pretty cool. They have some pretty cool sounds in here, especially their bass section. So I got this upside down bass. It's just a basic electric guitar bass, electric bass. So I'll play that in context with the rest of the sample. If you're listening on a phone, you probably won't be able to hear that. If you're listening with headphones, you'll be able to hear that. But for that bass, what effects did I put on that? Oh, I didn't put any effects on it. There you go. But I did go down to this knob here. That is my stereo separation knob, and I turned it all the way to the right, which sets it in mono. So put the low frequencies in mono. Keep from getting a muddy mix. The last two sounds here, I got a drum loop from Splice, and I got a little cymbal roll. So that's pretty much the whole sample. Then, like I said, I rendered out all of this together, and to do that, I go to my mixer. I did route that all to one mixer track and put a compressor on it. I believe I took the Vintage Mix preset, put that on there. And I got an EQ. The EQ is not doing anything. I just wanted to make sure all the frequencies were filled out in the frequency range, in the frequency spectrum. That's a good way to ensure that you have a nice full sound, is making sure all of your frequencies from the lows to the highs are nice and filled out. So I rendered that out, got my rendered out sample down here. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I pitched that down one semitone. So we were in D minor, now we're in C sharp minor. Once I pitched it down, I re-rendered it out, and we have our final sample. So now I'm going to put some drums over it so you can hear what it sounds like in context of a beat. And there you go.
Hey December.